All right, welcome inside the East Food Hall, Wells Fargo Center. It's Jason Myrtetus, Brian Smith, Flyers pregame show. It is Flyers Rangers tonight, and if I didn't know, it'd be pretty friggin' easy to figure it out. These New York people doing it. Don't you have your own city? Go to the Garden. Why do they got to come down here? I don't need to see that jersey as I'm walking around. It's a Saturday night. Yeah. Well, it's a Saturday night, though. It's not a far drive. And see, there's a couple right over there. That ugly Ranger blue. It just sort of reminds me. Who? No, he's actually down here. But it reminds me that blue jersey in particular, the few Rangers, reminds me of Ron Dugan. It reminds me of Barry Beck. That's a
yes. I will agree with that.
It's not a big one, right? No. It reminds me of Brian Leach, great American player. It reminds me of Henrik Lundqvist. Seen it too many times. Right from Lundqvist to Shesterkin, who's going to be in net tonight for the Rags.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah. It is Flyers Rangers tonight, and let me just give you a number right out of the gate. All right, I'm dropping a big one on you right out of the gate. So we've been here all day for the Wings game, so we're fresh and awake. Presumably. The Flyers this season, this is the telling number, have not scored the first goal on 18 occasions. They've scored the first goal on 18 occasions, and they've not scored the first goal on 18 occasions. Yeah. When they score the first goal, they're 11-2-5. When the opposition scores the first goal, they're 2-14-2. All right? So that tells you first goal for the Flyers is important. Let me give you this. The New York Rangers this season, when scoring the first goal, are 15-1-2 on the season, 8-1-2 on the road. So they're a team that, when they score first, gets the job done. They at least get points out of, 17 of the 18 games that they've been in that position. That when they score first, they get the job done, and they are ultimately able to solve the way. Now, I'm no math major, but the number in the NHL is, I think, 67% of the time the team that scores first wins. And if that team that scores first scores the second goal and goes up 2-0, it's 85% of the time that they win. That's why it's a big number.
Yeah, looking at the entire league, the teams that the worst team in the league is the Arizona Coyotes. They scored first 13 times this year, 1-5. So that's the worst. Pittsburgh and Nashville. Pittsburgh's 19-3-0. All these teams, the worst point percentage in the league scoring first is Arizona 3-5, Montreal 17-7. Those teams aren't winning anything anyway.
Yeah.
And Buffalo is 500. Teams that are actually up there doing something, the lowest points percentage is 500. So that's how important it is.
That's how indicative it is, right?
It gives you a step that it's with the parity in this league sometimes hard to win. Now, if you look at teams that score second, going down the list, every team in the league is below 500 scoring second, except Carolina, Tampa Bay, and St. Louis. The rest of the league is below 500. So that is how drastic it is. For whatever reason, it shouldn't be that drastic.
Well, you can't get to 2-0 without going first to 1-0, right? You can't get your second goal without getting the first. And the Rangers have been obviously very dominant in that role of scoring first. Now, when the opposition scores first, for the Flyers, we know that that's not been a great trade. It's 2-14-2 on the season when the opposition scores first. The Rangers, 9-9-2. There's your difference in these two clubs and the record. Flyers 11 2 and 3 when scoring first. That's good. But when not scoring first, that's where they only have 2 wins in 18 tries, and the Rangers are hockey 509-92. Big difference.
And the biggest factor really is how many times you score. And the teams that are on the top half of the league are scoring first in well more than half of their games. Taking a look at the top 16 teams, the playoff slots right now. Everybody in this grouping, you've got 19 occasions and 35 games for Carolina, 19 and 37 for St. Louis. Those are the closest things to 500 of any team in the league. Now, the Flyers are actually 15th, doing exactly half the time. So they are on the front end of the non-playoff teams. Once they're getting better, the Washington Capitals probably not surprised. They scored the first 27 minutes of the teams that are able to do it consistently are the ones that are having success in the NHL. So that is a portion of the game, obviously, to concentrate.
The other part of the equation, too, it's interesting because when a team ends the first, how you end the first period. When leading after one, tied after one, all that stuff. And after one period, the Rangers, when leading after one, 12-2 and 0 on the season. When they trailed, they're 6-6-2, and they tied, they're 6-2-2. So in these are areas, obviously, when the Flyers lead after one, they're 6-1-4. When they trail after one, 1-11.
Yeah, and that 4 is a little high for the some of those numbers come over in the win column. That's 4 points that you give away. You got to first period lead.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's so difficult to win when you don't have that first period lead. Once you do have it.
Now, the Rangers just faced the San Jose Sharks the other night. They got 2 goals from Chris Kreider, who has been a machine scoring goals this year. They got a great goaltending performance from Igor Shesterkin. They have a 14-7-2 record. This is actually the 15th 5-game road trip. They were out west. Yeah, they were out there. They had the Anaheim, Los Angeles, San Jose junket, and now they're working their way back east. This is the last game of the trip. But the Rangers in that game, and I always go by when I look at analytics for goaltending, I look at Steve Valiquette, who's former Ranger goaltender. Now he works for MSG, and he's an analyst for Rangers. He's got a company called ClearSight Analytics that measures shot quality by 28 points of data. All right, Steve's a nerd. All right, and he started this when he was in tandem with Henrik Lundqvist under John Tortorella. Because Torts would be giving Henrik Lundqvist crap about his performance in the game, and Valiquette was charting on the bench according to his analytics. He going, hey, you were supposed to give up 5 goals. You only gave up 3. That's it. You're +2. So we started this company. We retired. And in that game, the Rangers won 3-0. The San Jose Sharks had 35 chances, scoring chances. 8, which he would deem as high percentage, 9 mid percentage, and low was 18. Expected goals for the Sharks in the game, 4.49. Conversely, the Rangers, they only generated 27 chances and expected goals of 2.21. Yet they won the game 3-0. The goaltending for this team, to go along with Adam Fox, to go along with the goal scoring of Chris Kreider and Artemi Panarin, and to go along with all the other weapons that they have, and they have it. The goaltending has been there as well.
We've known for a long time that goaltending changes from time to time.
That's stolen right there.
And that's these numbers which kind of quantify it. Based on what happened in the game, we should have had this as because of the goaltending. We had this instead. Yeah. So that is putting. That's what analytics. That's what analytics is good for. Putting objective data on things that you think is there anyway. The problem sometimes is that people take that newfound knowledge and take it to mean different things than it really does. So that's the ongoing struggle. So unpredictable.
Well, one of the things, and speaking of analytics, is this. Bill Meltzer, and the 5 things for the game tonight, they had the theme of the Rangers and the fact that they are actually 32nd out of 32 teams in the NHL in team Corsi, yet they're second in team goals against average. Joey talked about it, and he said it's beyond Shesterkin's abilities. The Rangers take away the middle of the ice very well, limit odd man rushes, and they give their goalie a fair chance to make saves, and he makes them.
So they're second Corsi against
They're no. They rank, I think it's 46-54 for expected goals for to expected goals against, but the goaltending's held up. But even though they don't generate at 5-on-5 in particular a certain amount of great scoring chances and drive offense, they get a lot from the power play, right, which is ranked 10th in the NHL. But the fact that they still have that structure, block shots, and take away the middle of the ice helps the goaltending be second in the NHL despite the low Corsi number, 32nd in the NHL. Pretty wild, right?
Yeah, and for those of you who hear Corsi that we're talking about, that's basically shot attempts. Hotel started tracking this line, and it's shots on goal plus shots not on goal plus shots in goal. So anytime a player takes a shot attempt, it ends up being counted as something that goes into that.
We call it a scoring.
Well, it depends too, because sometimes these shot attempts go into these buckets, they're not scoring chances.
Yeah.
And then you get something that's like a 10-bell scoring chance, and it doesn't go into the NHL, it's a shot. Shot on goal.
It's all very confusing.
It generally goes in as a shot attempt for a scoring chance, but it doesn't always go into a shot on goal. So that's the part where sometimes you look at the game and it's like, they had 2 shots, but you got a 40 or 3 guy, you got a little big picture. And sometimes they had 16 shots, there's only 2 or 4 on goal.
Yeah. Well, they hit the post 3 times. It was good. Count as a shot on goal. Because technically you can't go in. All right, enough of the math. All right, enough of the analytics.
I was told that.
Yes. Well, I'm far be it from me to bring it up because I suck. But anyway, I thought we should present
That's
that.
why we're sitting here talking and not sitting in the room.
Yeah, coding or something like that. But let me give you this. Let me give you the projected lines for tonight.
All right.
Now, Rasmus Ristolainen is out of COVID protocol. I know he spoke about it. He said he had some minimal symptoms, but as a guy, he's good, yeah. Especially considering the case of COVID that he had while I'm in the Buffalo Sabres. Right. That's not an insert joke here, Tim.
No, that was probably the worst effect of any NHL player in the league last year. It's all rolled through the first time.
Yes, exactly. So he is back available. It doesn't look like he's going to play tonight. Yeah, so he's not going to be back in tonight. Maybe going to go to practice before he gets back into the lineup. So here is your forward line. Claude Giroux going to send that line with Joel Farabee and Cam Atkinson. And to me, that line has looked really good. They've driven a lot of offense.
Yeah, I really liked what we saw from that the first time we saw him. That was a good combination. Obviously, Atkinson is having the year that Flyers hoped he would have. Unfortunately, he's one of a very small group of players having the year the Flyers hoped he would have. But at least his offensive production has been there. Especially over the last, 3 weeks or so. He's got 14 points in his last 11 games. So he has been one of the bright spots for this offense, especially after
A player like him is always streaking.
Right.
Both forwards are streaking. He's got 15 goals in the season, 28 points in 36 games. And he's going to go through periods where, hey, it's just not going in for him. Shooting percentage suffers. And he comes back to 13.4% on the shooting percentage right now. All right, that's the top line. By the way, I asked Darryl Williams, Flyers assistant coach, about the play that Farabee made the other night, getting that puck out of his feet. And I just asked him, I just said, to make you a good line like that. Not many people have or can to get that puck out of your feet, full stride, and then turn Charlie McAvoy and end up parking in front of the net to get the goal. But I asked him about that. He just said he's just a confident kid. His skills are coming more and more to the forefront. And when you're confident you can pull off a play like that, you got the courage to do it. So
and that translates to a lot of things in this game, especially among young players. When you get to the National Hockey League, those players, despite all the experience that they've had, they get there and kind of freak out a little bit. They pass it. And I think for these guys, it probably happens every time they get to college and American League, they do it here too. But once that comfort level comes, they start making plays, they start relying on their instincts and what got them there, and things end up better for them. Some players see that come more quickly than others. Ian North is a guy we've seen very quickly.
yeah, actually, I asked Darrell about him as well. He says he as chill as he seems. He said, I haven't gotten to know him real well yet. He's only got to start a little bit of time with Cameo this year. He wasn't here last year, obviously. And he said that he's just a kind of a quiet guy, but really, he is a chill dude. That California chill. All right, second line for the Flyers. Kevin Hayes, centering James Van Riemsdyk and Jerry Mayhew. I think we can see a change here at some point with that in the game tonight.
Yeah, Mayhew back in the lineup and Sloan went back.
Now, I'm surprised at that.
I don't know what that was all about. Is over, and so you have to. They decided this morning that they wanted to send somebody down. Maybe we couldn't be in because they asked for a waiver for something to do with that. But you're right. That's a good starting point. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah.
But you've got a couple of guys on the next line.
Yeah, exactly. Or even on the fourth line. Scott Lawton, center, third line, Oscar Lindblom, and Travis Konecny. But that fourth line is Morgan Frost in there with Jackson Cates and Zach McEwen. I think Morgan Frost is a guy that can jump up there to the wing as well. With Jackson Cates in the middle of the fourth line, with Mayhew in the wing on the fourth line, and maybe see where Morgan is in this game if he's buzzing a bit, and that could be an option for the coaching staff.
Yeah, but I certainly don't fault them for, especially this bottom six. Let's see what happens. For this team overall right now, so overall score. Obviously, they're missing Sean Couturier. The structure those lines the way they are structured gives you a little bit more defensive look on each line than you would normally. You have Hayes center and Lindblom. That's maybe not the most defensively sound line. So you put Watt in there. Good two-way center, closest thing probably Flyers have to overall Sean Couturier when he's not in the lineup. And trying to get a little bit of scoring function out of the fourth line.
Zach McEwen wasn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Coates was campaigning for a long time. They moved up. They finally moved up a little bit, and they started getting some power play time as well. While all those guys were out as weeks. He's looked all right. Yeah, and it's been some pleasant surprises for guys like him. Stuff like that. They are guys that have fought the odds to get to this point. It's been nice to see them have some success.
Yeah, and Kevin nice play, two-man game with Zach McEwen. A nice pass, and McEwen ended up bringing it right off the post. But the D pairs, Ivan Provorov will be paired with Justin Braun in this game. Travis Sanheim with Cam York, it looks like. And Tiki Eagle and McSealer. And it'll be Carter Hart versus Igor Shesterkin.
Yeah, this is a game for Carter that and hopefully he's going to get one of those games where he plays well and gets rewarded. He's had some issues at some point. Playing in some of these games and not getting the offensive support. It's kind of a sort of a season. So I hope that he can play well tonight.
Yeah, that would be key. If the Flyers can play tonight like they played period 2 and period 3 against Boston, you put yourself in a good position in this hockey. I thought they played a really good 2/3 of that game in the first period, and I'm excited again. I said I'm name drop it, obviously. Talk about Darrell Williams I asked him, I said, when the team gets up that goal minute 12 in against Boston, what's the vibe on the bench? Because that's one of those S moments. Yeah, like here we go again. Right. And then they ended up giving up a power play goal after that to go down 2-0. But they did battle back in the game quick, and that's a good sign. I don't think it's low on the place to play in the second and third period.
And you know how you feel after you've flown across the country. I don't care if you feel worn down, especially when you're on the road.
I feel worn down and I don't have to fly across the country.
And so these guys just flew in from San Jose. And
our arms must be tired.
Absolutely. Hopefully they're so you're hoping that you can take advantage of that. And if you give up a goal in the 51 game, that takes that advantage away. That evens out the playing field. And so that's the important thing to me is to get through the first period here and try to wear it down.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting ready to join our radio audience. Soon as Ozzy tells us that he's got no more tears. My favorite song.
He's not playing this in.
He's playing this in, yes. We need to get him to live class. Zach Wild on guitar. Like that? The guy roll that out there? Well, rock ready today. Ozzy Osbourne.
You know way too much about this song.
Ozzy Osbourne. 93.3 WNY. Coming up, another round. All right, we're going to join our radio audience now. There we go. And welcome inside the Wells Fargo Center for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. Jason Myrtetus, Brian Smith at the East Food Hall, Wells Fargo Center. And it's a Saturday night in Philly, and it's Flyers Rangers. I feel like there's a little bit of a buzz here already.
There always is when it's Flyers Rangers. Flyers Penguins, anytime you get something like that, especially Saturday night. It's a big night around the league. There's a whole lot going on. And we are, this is a buzzing sports town right now. We have a playoff game tomorrow in the NFL.
Yeah.
We've got Flyers Rangers here tonight leading into it. The 76ers beat the Celtics yesterday. A big rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere else tonight. It is a big buzzing sports weekend, and this is a big part of it here with this historic rivalry of 300 games between these two teams over the last 45 years. And it's great to be a part of this one tonight.
I was talking about all the people walking around double fisting these big Bud Lights. That's what I was talking. I wasn't talking about anything else. No, it is great. It's cold Saturday night in January. Flyers Rangers. They played one time this season, but I played earlier here at Wells Fargo Center. It was December 11th, December 1st.
Maybe there's lots of work.
Yeah. So now I have to check this. But anyway, it was a 4-1 loss. The Flyers suffered at the hand of the Rangers. And, this is a team in the Rangers that we weren't sure what they would be this season. And there was a lot of – it was December 1st, good job. It was a lot of – they're off to a good start, but, they still got a ways to go. It's not their time yet. But as we sit here on the 15th now of January, the Rangers are tied at the top of the Metropolitan Division. They played 3 more games than Carolina. They're tied in points at 52. They played 38. Carolina's played 35. They have a record, Rangers do, of 24-10-4. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10, and they're coming off that win with San Jose. And here tonight to take on the Flyers, who through 36 games are 13-16-7, 33 points in the 6th spot in the Metropolitan Division, 3-4-3 in their last 10, and they've lost 6 straight. So what gives here tonight?
Well, I mean, the Rangers, yes, are a lot better than anybody expected. Coming in this year, we didn't know again what was going to happen with this team. They did have a rather major shakeup off the ice during the offseason with basically leaving house. Chris Drury comes in as the general manager. Gerard Gallant comes in as the head coach. But to me, the reason that this team has overachieved, if you will, from what a lot of people had expected, lays on 2 people. Adam Fox, 5th-round pick, who has suddenly become a Norris Trophy candidate, kind of out of nowhere. And Igor Shesterkin.
They won it last year.
Yeah, I mean, just But before last year, I don't know if you'd heard of that Fox. I honestly
Couldn't have picked them out of the
but all of a sudden, bang, he turned it on during the break, and then Igor Shesterkin comes out of the post-Olympics era where we can see what's going to happen. You might recall right before the initial stoppage in the NHL's 1920 season, the Flyers had a 2-game set against the Rangers in late February, and they went up there and just absolutely feasted. And Shesterkin played one of the games, Lundqvist played the other, and you were wondering, oh my gosh, this guy's what are you going to do? Shesterkin, through 22 games, has a 1.99 points average and a 9.39 save percentage. So those two guys right there, to me, are the catalysts as to why this team has shot up the standings as quickly as that.
Yeah, and with Shesterkin, you may go, oh, he's a young guy, he's having success at so young. He's 26 years old. He came over late from the KHL in Russia. And he's a guy that has matured in the NHL now as well and adjusted incredibly well. And right now, I mean, if you looked at it in the NHL awards, we're almost halfway through the season. He's probably the best. And Adam Fox is right there again when you're talking about the Norris. Matter of fact, defenseman Adam Fox leading the New York Rangers in points with 5 goals, 32 assists. And how about this? Our 16 power play assists. He's a guy that can distribute back there as that quarterback for the number 1 power play for the New York Rangers as well.
Right. I mean, you knew Panarin was going to be doing the comment.
Yeah.
He said, I'm playing with you. That's what I feel. That doesn't stop me. But he doesn't get a chance. I mean, he's got 34 points this year, and he hasn't been able to score 16 of them against the Flyers.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know if the Flyers were doing his career last year or what, but even for him, that's a good year.
He was off to a slow start before those games against the Flyers.
Here we go.
Yeah, and back-to-back 6-point games, back-to-back hat-tricks for Mika Zibanejad in that situation last year. So it's the Flyers and the Rangers here tonight at Wells Fargo Center. Flyers looking to stop the bleeding, and they need to stop it tonight. They need to stop Adam Fox and Aaron, their team that likes to move the puck east-west multiple times in the offensive zone. I'm sure that's something that they're going to have to get sticks and lanes tonight.
And this, by the way, is one of my top and bottom roster is the favorite for our kids.
Also,
Love a lot of
yeah, Capo, Alice Lafreniere,
Philip
Philip Heedle, and it looks like Don Cheadle. So there's some good ones in here. All right, stay tuned because Tim Saunders and as Coach Ryan just mentioned, the aforementioned Steve Coates, they got a little something they call the Countdown to Face-Off Saturday night. It is buzzing in Philadelphia at Wells Fargo Center. It's the Flyers and the Rangers coming up. Stay tuned. Countdown to Face-Off coming up, and first period action right after this. You've been listening to the Flyers Game Day pregame show on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.